So they were reposting oh my God, I know the Batik guy, so funny.
It was difficult, but I want to admit something, Bob. So I'm like, okay, hang on. I'll tell you what got really bad, Bob. Is when I received threats.
Yeah. I was like, this guy is going to join some party and become a MP or something, but you started having talents. What happened there? Hello listeners, this is the Asian Century and I'm very happy to have Michael Teoh with us, who is the founder and CEO of Thriving Talents. So Thriving Talents is in over 40 plus countries and work with Fortune 500 brands and a lot of the famous brands here in Malaysia. And recently Michael is known for being the Malaysia Batik Guy. All right, so he's viral on the internet for various reasons, but happy to have him here today and we'll talk about that story later as well.
Thank you for having me, Bob. Going viral on the internet, yes, for various reasons. I like how you put it. Some would say no publicity is bad publicity, but I did get cyberbullied.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I learned a very powerful lesson. When you are in doubt, seek professional help and advice.
Okay.
And I did just that, and I'm most happy to share more about the story later.
Okay, and today we're also joined by his book, I Am an Introvert, and we'll talk about his networking strategies later as well.
Sure.
So how I first know Michael is many years ago while I was in university. So I was in my UTM days. I will go on Facebook and follow people. So I saw Michael at that time traveling around the world with this program that he'll mention later. And the first time I met Michael was actually he organized an event. So as a young person at that time, I was like, wait, wow, I get to meet Tony Fernandez. So Michael actually organized this event where we can actually go to PWTC and actually shake hands and meet Tony Fernandez. And as a 22-year-old at the time, I was like, wow, it was mind-boggling and it was good exposure as well.
Thank you.
And it really, that time I didn't have my first job yet. I was just fresh out of university and really impacted my life at that point. And I've been following Michael since. So I've seen
Thank
him.
you, Bob. You're so kind. Thank you.
From his stage days. I've seen him in this as a speaker. Till today, right? So I think let's start off from your childhood. So you're from Penang, all right?
Yes, I'm from Penang, from Butterworth, Penang.
Butterworth, Penang, from the mainland,
right. From the mainland, there you are. It's still part of Penang, by the way.
Yeah.
Even though some people say, oh, it's different. And normally tourists get very confused when they visit me, friends of mine from abroad. And when they would visit me at my house, my family house in Butterworth, and I would take them out for dinner.
Yeah.
And normally I'll say, hey, I'll take you out to a nice seafood dinner in Penang. And they would normally show me a confused face. They're like, aren't we already in Penang? I say, oh yeah, because people at the mainland, Butterworth, we would say Penang Island as Penang. But to foreigners, to tourists, they're like, well, wait, it's the same, right? We are in Penang right now. So it's just a local colloquial slang.
Penang Island.
Penang Island. I'm like, yeah, Penang Island, right? Penang
Island.
We just sum it up as
which part of Butterworth?
Chai Ling Park. So a place where it's famous for all its hawker delicacies.
Okay.
And then I studied in Bukit Mertajam. Yeah, the hometown of Dato Lee Chong Wei.
Okay.
But I studied at a different school. But I'm proud to share that my school has produced 2 prime ministers so far.
Okay. We will get to that later as well.
There you go. Yeah.
So how did your childhood or your early years shape how you are today?
Well, it has definitely shaped me to be more compassionate, to be kinder to people, and yet never wait for opportunities to come. Have the drive and the passion to create opportunities.
Yep.
And I say that, Bob, because when I was growing up, long story short, I did have a good childhood, but when I was in school, that entire childhood was marked with bully. So I was bullied in school because I was weak in sports. But I think the lesson I've learned from that episode is to empathize with people and to know that as much as during that time I was the victim of the bully, as much as I had hoped people would help me, the world is not so exciting if we just keep on depending on people. So at a very young age, at the age of 15, when I snapped, I told myself I do not want to get bullied anymore. I decided to pick myself up by adopting this mindset. I'm just going to create opportunities. instead of waiting for opportunities to come. I'm going to help myself instead of waiting for people to help me. And that has made such a huge difference to my life. I would not be here today having this chat with you in your Asian Century podcast if I had not adopted that mindset. So that changed my life.
Were you always, because now we know you as the global speaker on stages, like, were you always an introvert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So normally people were quite shocked when I announced my book, I Am Introvert, because they were like, Michael, since when you are an introvert? You are the loudest person in the hall. And you are an entrepreneur, you do sales, you are networking all the time. Michael, are you just saying this to sell books? Honestly, people were saying that. But I was saying, no, a lot of people did not realize I am an introvert, but I behave like an extrovert as a coping mechanism for me to fight against the bullies.
Okay.
So I will give you a quick example. I was bullied since I was 6, 7 years old, all the way up to when I was 15 years old. All right. 15 years old, something snapped in me. I said, I want to change my life. And because I was bullied due to the fact that I was weak in sports, so what other activities that I could do that are not sports related at that time was extra co-curricular activities like public speaking, drama competition, debating, young entrepreneurs competition. So I joined all those competitions. And I was studying in a school where it is based on meritocracy, class arrangement. What do I mean by that? So in my form, there were 11 classes. I'm in the 4th class.
Okay.
So I'm not your smartest dude in school.
All right.
I'm your middle average dude in school. 4th out of the 11 classes.
Yeah.
So I knew from an early age that opportunities were not going to come to me, because most of the opportunities to join public speaking competition, science innovation competition would all go to the boys and girls in the 1st class. So what I did was I had to become an extrovert. I had to brave myself, wait outside the teacher's room every day during recess time for one particular teacher to walk by. We call him the extra co-curricular coordinator teacher, guru co-curriculum.
Yeah.
He will walk by, and teachers in Malaysia, they're flooded with so much other work. So he will walk by and say, Michael, tunggu apa? Nak project lagi ya? Ni ada pertandingan baru cikgu nak bagi. You boleh cuba tengok pertandingan ni? I've made the teacher's life easy. They no longer have to go and recruit students to join competition. I was there offering myself.
Oh.
So to do that, I have to put out an extrovert front. Even I lack confidence, I have to just push myself through to show people that I have confidence, right? There is a controversial saying, fake it until you make it. There is that saying.
Yeah.
And when I was studying in New Zealand for my undergraduate years, some of my professors there said, I've been practicing that without me knowing. Fake it until I make it. So I was faking my confidence, faking my extroversion so that I make it.
Okay.
But I've been doing it for so long that it has become part of me. So when I wrote this book, I'm Introvert, it brought me back to a darker time when my confidence was low. I had no friends. I was doing whatever I can to fit in, yet I couldn't.
Yep.
And how did I burst out? What were some of the quiet strategies that I use to connect with people, to build relationships?
Yep.
And that was how my life changed. I built relationship with teachers, with disciplined teachers, with the principal, and then the bully stayed away because of that extroversion that I put up. So I am an introvert.
in what way? Like you struggle in social circumstances?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bob, did you know? Contrary to popular belief, I may be the most energetic guy right now.
The team is experiencing it.
Yeah, right now. But right after this podcast, I'll go back home. I'll go into my room. I will start watching YouTube documentaries because I just love documentaries. And I will not want to talk to anyone. I need time to recharge. And today I find myself, if it's not necessary for me to do coffee or dinner with people, I will avoid because I need my me time.
All right.
And I can tell you that introversion, it does come out sometimes. Like, believe it or not, I wrote a book about networking, but sometimes when I go to events, I still have that fear, like, oh my God, how will people judge me? Especially these days when I try to network with company owners who are billionaires. And I'm thinking like, oh no, what watch am I wearing? What watch are they wearing? There's a lot of this self-defeatist mindset still. But of course, over the years, I've trained myself, right, Bob? So I'm getting better at it. That's why I could write this book.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful. I think most people struggle with this as well.
I wouldn't say it's a struggle, Bob. I would say there's a strength in being an introvert. We tend to reflect more. We tend to be more cautious of our actions. But my advice to introverts out there is it's fine being introverted. It's fine having your own space. It's fine to reflect. But if you find your silence is stopping you from expressing yourself, from realizing opportunities, then it's about time for you to start stepping up bit by bit. So hopefully my book can help you with that.
Okay. Cool. Let's talk about some of your sort of history, right? So you have brushed shoulders with all of our prime ministers, right? All of our prime
surviving prime minister.
Surviving.
Tun Abdullah passed away. May him rest in peace. He was an alumni from my school. Together with Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, PMX.
So in Butterworth. Tell us your experience. Let's start with I think how we met was actually through a NGO.
Yes.
Am I correct? So tell us that experience as well.
That NGO was set up in the year 2010. Still exists today. It's called My Harapan, where our mandate was to identify youth leaders like yourself, Bob, to create opportunities for you to launch your nation building projects. Hence why during that time we arranged for you and the youth leaders from universities to meet Tony Fernandez, was to give you an inspiration, to let you know that, hey, we are behind you, just do good for the nation. And My Harapan has been amazing because we work with both the private and the government sectors. It has opened up so many opportunities for me to learn about myself and also on how I build relationship with people. And I'm so proud, people like yourself, Bob. You started a podcast, a very influential podcast called Asian Century Podcast. And then we have also had youth leaders, now not so young anymore, where they have started things like Teach for Malaysia. I was there during Zamir Zulkifli, one of the original founders. We supported them. People like Wee Johnson of Epic Collective. I met him. He was a volunteer on the street, getting people to register to vote. And because of him, I registered to vote. So kudos to you, Johnson. And then I remember having a conversation with him. I said, Johnson, is this what you want to do? He said, no, obviously. Was standing under the hot sun asking people to register to vote on the street, right? And I said, what do you really want to do? He wants to build houses for Orang Asli. And I'm like, how is that coming along? And he was like, it's a social enterprise, not really getting traction. And My Harapan came in and we supported him. And credits go to him. He has grown Epic Collective today to an amazing, one of Malaysia's role model social enterprise. So hats off to him. But I'm just grateful to have met all these people like yourself during those days.
You mentioned that out of all the prime ministers, the strictest one is our Tun M.
Offline, I mentioned about that. So your question.
What was the experience? Did he scold you? What happened?
Wow. Okay, so in a chapter of my book, I actually shared a story or a strategy on how did I connect and network with every single surviving prime minister in Malaysia. So that's an interesting topic. And offline, we were having this conversation before the podcast started. I did share where the prime minister who gave me the most goosebumps would have to be Tun Dr. Mahathir. He's scary lah. He's because he's so when I say he's so sharp, I am not alluding that our other prime ministers were not sharp. It's just that Tun M seems to not have time. If you are there talking to him, like me, I met him at a conference, wanted to network with him, but he was so fast. He's like, tell me what you want. tell me what you want, tell me how can this benefit the country. It's just that no fluff.
And that time it was not PM anymore, right?
No, he was still PM.
He was still PM.
For second time.
Oh, second time
So
PM.
it was
Okay.
PH 1.0.
Okay.
And at that time, I was like, wow. And he's like, quickly.
Yeah.
You know, it's always fast with him. And I think because of his seniority, he could see it all, right? I mean, maybe that time he saw me, another fanboy, right? I mean, come on, right? I mean, we are so proud of him coming back as second time as our prime minister during that time. So it was quite scary. But as I promised you offline as well, Bob, I'm going to leave a tip to all of our listeners and our viewers right here. So how do you build connections with VVIPs? Oftentimes, people always say, oh, if you want to build connections with prime ministers, you must make an impression to them. Sure, that is important. But what if you are in an event where their time to interact with you is so limited? It's a hi and bye. So gone case lah. Give up, right? So one of the tricks that I normally use is I always try to recognize people around them, their officers. And believe me, the officers who work so hard for the prime minister, they don't get enough credit. So normally these are the people where I would go and befriend them. I will go and get to know them. I know some of you may be thinking, oh, Michael, ada udang di sebalik batu, right? There's a prawn behind the rock. So you are trying to get to know them to get to their big boss. You can say that, but from my experience, once you get to know them, they themselves are so interesting individuals, you know. And I befriended a lot of them. And that is how you build relationships. And ultimately, when they see that you are worthy, when they see you do have an idea that qualifies your time to meet, right? To meet their big boss, then they will open the doors for you. So when you want to meet with VVIPs, as much as we want to target the VVIP themselves, always look at people around them. Oftentimes, they don't get enough love, they don't get enough credit. They are the ones that you should be building relationship with because they are your gatekeepers.
So let's say you meet Tun M or any VVIP for 2 minutes. What can you do in that 2 minutes?
Wow.
Yeah.
Firstly, okay, again, for CEOs or entrepreneurs, I would normally go up to them and I would have done prior research about something nice that they have done or something that they have done that resonate with me. And I'll go up to them and say, Tan Sri Bob, my name is Michael. I just want to tell you, sir, you launching your podcast 10 years ago and now becoming the most listened to podcast in the whole of Southeast Asia. I want to thank you, sir. I was inspired by your podcast. Sir, I have a question for you. And always go down with a question because then you are inviting interaction from them. Okay. So that is what I would say. But for someone like Tun, in my brief interaction with him, you could tell he's just like, okay, terima kasih. But the way he said it, it could just be me. It's like, okay, like just cut it. Just tell me what's your objective.
Okay.
Yeah, like cut it. Like don't have to butter me anymore. Don't have to flatter me, right? Just cut it. And I'm like, and you know that's scary because when you want to network with someone, if someone does that to you, right, your confidence will take a dive for you. Because you're like, wow, what? Right? Because we live in an Asian culture. I know in a Western culture, people tend to say, okay, go straight to the point. But in Asian culture, I still believe kita kena ada adat sopan santun lah. We need to be polite and like, hey, what I like about your shirt or like what I like about your watch. Hey, tell me something about yourself. It's about giving that priority to the people, right? But in my interaction with Tun, he was such a sharpshooter. It's like, okay, young man, tell me what you want. Like, what? I just want to take a picture with you. So there you are. Right.
Yeah. And you said something about the West as well. So you also brush shoulders, of course, with Richard Branson, right? So my favorite story of him is what Tony Fernandez shared. Tony Fernandez shared, I didn't get a job at Virgin. And I met him at the stairs and I talked to him about orangutan, which is something that you have to do research to know he likes orangutan.
Well, there you are.
What was your experience with him?
He's authentic. And despite his senior age, he's always pushing the envelope. Like in my brief conversations with him, and
you met him in the US or where?
No, I met him in the UK. So what happened was I met him face to face 2 times, and then what happened was we had opportunities to connect with him, and every time he would push me, he would say, what else can we do better? What else can you do better? I met him for the first time when he came to Malaysia to speak at a conference here in KL. I followed his entourage to the lift. I got stopped by his bodyguard, and then his bodyguard said, that's the end of the line. I still remember this was in a hotel in KLCC, and then Richard Branson just waved his hand and just invited me to join him in the lift.
Okay.
So it was an elevator pitch. I went into the lift, pitched
literal one.
Yeah. And then, but guess what? This was, I remember the hotel, Renaissance Hotel, man.
Okay, it's still around.
Still around. Yeah, 5-star at that time. This was 2010. And, I made a pitch to him, and then the elevator got stuck. Renaissance Hotel, it was stuck for like 5 minutes. And I still remember Sir Richard Branson was like, oh, wow, we are stuck. Well, young man, you have more time. And then I was like, okay. So I pitched to him, and then we arrived at the top floor of Renaissance. He was going to do a press conference, and my time with him ended then. 1 year later, I won a competition in London, in the UK, where the grand prize was to travel around the world to 22 countries, all paid for, working with NGOs, governments, and social businesses on nation-building projects. And guess what? He was the patron of that competition called Your Big Year. And being the patron, he met me again, and he was like, I remember you from somewhere. And I said, well, sir, I'm the kid from Malaysia, and then I met him the third time at the conclusion of my world trip. Very authentic. He would always push me to try to think, what else can we do better? Very soft-spoken, very nice. Yeah, that's how I would describe him.
What do you pitch to him in the elevator?
So, to give a little bit of context, by the time I met Sir Richard Branson, I was armed with two things. I was armed with his book because I wanted his autograph, which he did give me his autograph. And I was armed with a youth report. This youth report was a report that I did a few months back before I met him, where I was invited to London to give a speech at a global youth summit called One Young World. And I crowdsourced 32,000 young Malaysians below the age of 35, their opinions for a better world, compile it into a report, got sponsored by MDEC, MSC Malaysia, to go, wear their jacket, a speech in London, present the report. And then with that report, I use it to pitch it to Sir Richard Branson and said he's a philanthropist, he's a global icon. I would like to present to him voices of Malaysian youths. Now, there is a lesson that I wish to share with you here, Bob, and to all your listeners. You see, sometimes, in order for us to network with all these high-profile individuals, we may feel we are unworthy. We may feel that, oh, who are we? I'm just running a normal training company. You're just running a normal recording studio. Who are we, right? So in order for us to galvanize certain confidence, we need to think about getting ourselves involved with projects that are bigger than us. So like for me, was crowdsourcing 32,000 Malaysian youth voices, compiling it into a report. So that gave me confidence to go and network with Sir Richard Branson and say, Sir Richard Branson, hear me out. You must let me into your lift and get stuck together with you because I have Malaysian youth's voices to share with you. I psycho myself that way to get the confidence to go and speak to him. It was like when I pitched to Microsoft to invite President Barack Obama to visit my leadership training. And again, I had to think something bigger. What, am I just going to invite the president to come and visit a training that I was doing? Of course not. I need to think about an angle. And the angle that I hatched out together with Microsoft was to develop young leaders. Now, you see, if I can share, in Malaysia, where we say young leaders, golongan belia, youths, right? But in America, when they say young leaders, it's really young. And until today, I've only worked with them once. This group of young leaders were aged 9 to 12 years old. And they were not easy. So when President Obama came to visit Malaysia for the first time, he dropped by my leadership program for half an hour, accompanied by our then Prime Minister, Dato Sri Najib. And it was amazing. But how did I get that opportunity? It was because I started thinking something bigger than myself. For Obama, it was development of young people, or in this case, really young people. For Richard Branson was, how do I share Malaysian youth's thoughts with him?
And today you are part of things that are bigger than yourself as well, causes that you're part of?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, number one, I am the vice president of the Malaysian Entrepreneurs Development Association, or we call ourselves PUMM,
Okay.
Persatuan Usahawan Maju Malaysia. We have been around since 1993.
Yeah.
We are the third largest SME association. So, we are championing the needs of SMEs there.
Okay.
I'm also part of the Malaysian Association of Professional Speakers. We are mandated to actually uplift the quality of speakers we have here in Malaysia. I'm also part of the Malaysian Association of Training Providers, where our mandate is to also uplift our quality of training providers in Malaysia. So you could see all these NGO movements is something to keep me grounded and something to keep me connected with the community. And for me to believe that there's something bigger that I'm doing aside from just making money with my business.
Okay. So speaking about traveling talents, I always thought, this is honestly, when I followed you back in the day, I always thought you would be a politician. Really, I was like, this guy is going to join some party and become a MP or something. But you started traveling talents. What happened there?
Well, I've always loved to speak. I've always loved to inspire people. I'm very proud of Thriving Talents. We have managed to grow our business to 42 countries. We entered Sri Lanka this year in the year 2025. We represent 108 trainers, coaches, and consultants now. We work with 30% of the world's Fortune 500 companies on leadership training, sales training, team buildings.
Yep.
But why the pivot, right? Last time I was already wearing baju batik, but baju batik with longer sleeve. Now short sleeve, with longer sleeve. Really look like a YB that time. Going around, right? Trying to be a politician. I think for me personally, Bob, and I've never shared this before, I do still want to help the country if I can. But I followed a few politicians. And after following them, my hat's off to all the politicians out there. Actually, life is not that easy, being a politician.
It's not.
There was one particular politician I followed, and I'll give credit where credit is due. Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah. Right? He was then the Deputy Minister of Higher Education. When he invited me over, he said, "Hey, Michael, follow me for one day in my life as a deputy minister." I remember going to his house at 4:30 a.m. in Putrajaya. His driver would drive me. I was part of his entourage. He would go to his then constituency of Temerloh, and his program would start as early as 7 a.m., going to different weddings, going to give different cheramas, launching basketball courts at school. And there was no rest, And his program would end at 1 a.m. And by the time we got back to Putrajaya, it was like 3:30 a.m., 4. It was crazy. And I was like, "Dato, my goodness." And he's like, what you see of politicians are all the glam. But what you don't know is, like for Dato Saifuddin at that time, he had 4 spare clothes in his Alphard, that time not yet Velfire, Alphard. And I said, "Wow, Dato Sri, why these 4 sets of spare clothes?" And he was like, "Oh, Michael, because I'll be going to different events where different reporters will be there. If I'm seen wearing the same clothes all the time, people will be thinking, wow, this YB, so kesian, don't have other clothes. So in the car, he had to change clothes,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. So after that, I felt I may not have the strength of character to be a politician, but I want to help politicians. That's why I've always admired people like Datuk Sri Idris Jala. So he became a minister, but he was on an advisory role.
Yeah.
He was brought into cabinet because he is very good
He's
in what he does.
Technocrat is the word.
Technocrat.
Yeah.
We have like the former Maybank CEO, right, Tan Sri Wahid. We had Tengku Zafro. These are all technocrats that were brought into government. These people inspire me. And if given a chance, I do find interest in helping by providing advice, by taking care of the strategic side. So hopefully one day in human capital development.
Okay. This is the first time. Okay.
First time.
First time announcing this. All right. Okay. One day we shall see. Right. In that ministry. Right. So you've started Thriving Talents for many years. And
2012.
2012. Now it's like 14 years.
Oh
right?
God, yes.
Yeah. So you've worked with so many companies in so many countries. What was your biggest challenge all these years? and how do you overcome them?
One of the photos that you showed me just now was a photo of me wearing spectacles. And I
Yeah.
think the biggest challenge at that time was at the age of 23, 24, when I started my business, people did not take me seriously. They felt, what can a 23-year-old guy do for my employees? And I got rejected a lot. So that was a challenging time. 6 months, no clients, bank account left with 300 ringgit. Yeah. And at that time, I believe in prayer. I still do today. And I just prayed. I said, God and the universe, tell me what should I do next. My laptop decided to restart itself after 6 months not having client. Bank account nearly gone. And then I'm using a PC. So guess what? When you use a PC, Windows would pop up. Microsoft Windows. And I'm like, is this a sign? And that was when I used LinkedIn. I was exposed to LinkedIn. I spammed a lot of Microsoft employees in Malaysia, asking them for a meeting if I could introduce myself and my training. And one lady replied, bless her, her name is Mandip Kaur. She replied and she said, Michael, let's meet for coffee. I met her up at KLCC when Microsoft's office was still there at that time. Had coffee, rejected me the first time.
Okay.
I followed up with her for 2 weeks and she told me, you're not going to give up, are you? I say, no. And she asked me why. I told her my situation. And she said, Microsoft in Malaysia, as you know, Microsoft is at the forefront of technology, Bob. During that time, this was what, in 2013, they were already doing online trainings, you know. COVID has not even happened. They were already doing online trainings. So she was telling me, saying that all of their trainings are online. They don't have a lot of training budget. They do have a CSR budget. Would you mind if we engage you as a CSR program to do workshops for young people, sponsored by Microsoft? Let's do it. The rest is history.
Okay.
2 years later, Microsoft became my client, who invited President Barack Obama to visit my leadership program. Powerful. It was a Microsoft program. I was the facilitator that they entrusted to run the program. It was powerful. And until today, I still fight for that. Because today, out of the 108 trainers that I have, we are always growing. 50% of them, and I say this proudly, 50% are all below the age of 35. Which in Malaysia's training industry, if you're below 35 as a trainer, sometimes people raise their eyebrows. Do you have enough experience? Were you in senior management before? And until today, I continue to fight for this group of trainers. I go up to clients. I said, hey, I have this 29-year-old boy. He's a very inspiring person. Client would tell me, sorry, he looks too young. And I would look at the client. I'm going to send you an email after this. I go back, I send the email to the client that reads, money back guarantee. If this person does not deliver, I will refund you 100% of the training fee that you have paid this person. Clients would be shocked. They were like, wow, really? I said, you have a black and white now. It's email, sent by me. So far, no refunds lah. And clients have stayed with us, you know. I still continue to fight for the young people, especially these days, young trainers, young consultants, young coaches, because I was there when I wish someone had fought for me, but I think God and the universe have planned for us. Maybe that time they needed me to go through that hardship to start letting people see, Michael Teoh, the guy in his 20s, oh my God, he's working with all these Fortune 500 companies. For that to happen, so that younger and younger trainers, teachers, consultants, coaches can come up.
In the early years, was it difficult? Because you had the mountaintop experience, you know, you met Richard Branson, you did and then you had to start over again to start a company to, you know, sort of, like you said, you know, had to beg all these Microsoft companies. Was it difficult at that time?
It was difficult, but I want to admit something, Bob. There are people worse off than me out there. Because honestly, like you said, I did have certain advantages. By the time when I started Thriving Talents, there was that Sir Richard Branson endorsement. I mean, even Tony Fernandez did a video testimonial for me on YouTube. If you type Michael Teoh, Tony Fernandez, you'll see the video is still there. Yeah, 2010 quality. Okay, but I had all this recognition, yet I struggled for 6 months. But I felt because I had a mental block. You know why? When I started Thriving Talents, I started it in a 3-bedroom apartment in USJ 19. For those of you from Subang, say hi.
Yeah.
USJ 19, you know, some people say it's haunted. It's not haunted, okay? I can attest to that. I lived there for 3 years.
Near the steam fish.
Yeah, near the steam fish. So I started it at an apartment. I would not dare go and approach the likes of Maybank or Petronas and say, hey, let me do training for you. Who am I? So I went to approach SMEs to start. But these SMEs at that time, their mindset was, Michael, you crazy? Spend money, train my staff, then my staff run away, go work for my competitor. So I make my competitor better. You crazy? So I struggled. Yeah. It was the Microsoft opportunity that broke that limiting belief. I was desperate because after Microsoft, I got Intel in Penang. And Intel gave me that contract because they say, hang on, in your presentation about Thriving Talents, you work with Microsoft. What did you do with Microsoft? And I explained to them. And they said, okay, not bad. Microsoft give you chance, we give you chance. Third company was Shell. Fourth company was HSBC. I'll always remember these first 5. Because it started and then there were whispers in the industry already. Hey, this Michael Teoh, young guy, don't know what he's doing. Suddenly all these big companies hire him to train their leaders, train their younger employees. What? So I'm still fighting for the younger trainers for today.
What keeps you going today? You're in so many countries. You say you're fighting for the young trainers as well. What keeps you going today?
I need their help. Now I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
So I expend a lot of energy every time. And I want to scale my business. And to scale my business, I am looking for apprentices. I'm looking for successors. I do have them now. People like Ong Shui, people like Winnie Lim from my company. These are some of my successors. They are young trainers, but they are very good, right? So for these people, I'm always on the lookout for more trainers to join me. And I'm not a saint. I'm doing this out of the goodwill of my heart. Yes. But at the same time, I want to make sure they can cari makan . So when they are with me, I recommend clients to them, give money back guarantee offers to client for them, right? And then just groom them up so that one day I hope, even though when Michael Teoh has retired or has reduced his training days, right? People can remember that, hey, how come this person I see, he's style like Michael Teoh? Oh yeah, he's using Thriving Talents methods. Yeah. So just to share, people like Tony Robbins inspire me on how they can inspire a group of motivational speakers and trainers around the world. People like the author of the 7 Habits, Stephen Covey, because he has managed to systemize his content. So these are the people that inspire me. They are my role models, and God willing, God bless, I'm going down that path.
Okay, so you aim to build more speakers, trainers, and impact the world as well. Yeah. So speaking today, we have a new name for you, and I hope this will become your new character online, right? So we have Malaysia Batik Guy. First,
Malaysia Batik Guy here. Woohoo!
Okay, so first and foremost, when I saw that, I didn't know you were a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huge wrestling fan. Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. Oh, that's
Roman Reigns. That's my favorite wrestler for now. My favorite wrestler ever was The Rock.
Okay.
And then Chris Jericho.
Okay.
And then The Miz.
Okay.
And then Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Oh, what do you love about wrestling? I think we grew up in the same era.
Yeah.
That was the only thing to watch on TV.
Stone Cold, Triple H.
At night to watch TV3, I think at 11 o'clock.
TV3, 11 p.m. before the night news, the midnight news.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that shared experience. I remember, my favorite one is Undertaker, because he died already, can come back one.
Yeah.
He died many times.
Wow. Very good.
I love the storytelling, but what do you love about wrestling?
I cannot watch Olympic wrestling.
Oh, that is just a sport.
Even though people say that's real wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you have 2 guys hugging out at the back and like, I can't.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but you can tolerate fake wrestling like WWE. For the record, WWE, people do get hurt. The only thing fake about it is that they have already planned who is going to win the championship. and who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. That's all.
Yeah.
But when they throw a punch, they really do throw a punch. When they hit your head with a chair, it's really hit your head with a chair, right? But I love wrestling because of the storytelling. I love how they create heroes, villains. So yes, I follow wrestling until today. I just came back from Perth, Western Australia. I was there for 3 nights of awesome wrestling. WWE SmackDown, WWE Crown Jewel, and WWE Raw. And when I was there, Bob, I decided, you know what? Am I just going to be like anyone else? Am I going to wear a fanboy shirt like Roman Reigns, Spear? No, I thought, hey, I'm from Malaysia. Let's wear batik. So I wore batik every single day. And what I did not realize was the seats that I bought for the 3 nights now, SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Raw, these are what we call televised matches. So these are aired and streamed around the world. You could still find it on Netflix today.
Okay.
So if you go to Netflix, you type WWE Crown Jewel, just watch the crowd. You're going to see a guy, Malaysia Batik Guy. All right. So I saw, hey, I want to be different. So let me wear batik shirt. And the seat that I was seated in, after the first night, I noticed, why is the camera keep pointing at my face? I'm at the hard cam segment. What is hard cam? That means when the wrestlers wrestle, I will always be in the shot. So I'm like, oh, opportunity. So day 1, I was like, yay, Malaysia Batik Guy. And then Malaysians who saw because Netflix aired it live. So Malaysians who saw it, they start tagging me. My friends start tagging me on Insta. Bro, after I see you, I cannot unsee you. Then I'm like, oh my God, it works. I have 2 more nights to spare. So what happened? I went out. I went to buy very highly priced Manila card and jumbo markers from Australia, Dimox, the bookstore there. I wrote Malaysia Batik Guy. I made it even more obvious now. Not only can you see me in batik, I am taking up a sign to tell you I'm literally in batik. All right. So I raised it up during WWE Crown Jewel and WWE Raw. The more prominent one was WWE Raw. You can find all these episodes on the 5th of October episode of Raw and the 3rd October episode of Crown Jewel on Netflix. So there I was, yay! And then friends of mine find it very funny. Oh my God, Michael, we see you. Oh, batik, batik glory, Malaysia boleh.
I saw some of the reposts.
So they were reposting oh my God, I know the batik guy is so funny. Now, we started our podcast saying that, as much as we wanted publicity, we have to also learn to seek help when things go out of the way. So, Bob, I think you know what happened.
We can tell the audience.
So I learned this word, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm saying this out as a joke. So in Indonesian language, in Bahasa we call anjing, right? In Indonesian language they call anjir. Right? And I've been called anjir over 1,300 times in my comment section of my Instagram post, Michael Teoh Sulim, about me declaring myself as the Malaysia Batik Guy, just for fun. It was a post about me watching wrestling, how I'm so proud about our batik heritage, and I was raising up a sign that says Malaysia Batik Guy in front of wrestlers. And it angered some quarters of people in Indonesia. They attacked my Instagram. It went viral. I got like 1 million overviews. And I think there was like 5,000 reshares. And people were all like slamming me. And people were saying that you should not be wearing batik, you're not Indonesian. They're calling me anjir. And then I noticed that the topic started to spill over to unrelated topics. They were commenting about our Malaysia FIFA fiasco. They were commenting about the history of Malaysia and Indonesia. And there I was, I'm like, okay, hang on. But I'll tell you what got really bad, Bob, is when I received threats. I remembered it exploded in 2 days after I uploaded that picture of the Malaysia Batik Guy on my Instagram. In that 2 days, I did not know how to process it. There were shadows and glimpses of my time when I was bullied when I was young. Because all these people were not being rational anymore. They were whacking me. And I was so afraid that they'll whack my family. And true enough, it happened. I received direct messages say, tengok you, boom, tembak, death threats lah. Just because, you know.
Yeah.
And I think at that time, I came across this very powerful lesson. My first instinct was to ignore. I'm like, okay lah, now they fight, let them fight. Sooner or later, it will die off, right? But I was so scared to open my Instagram, you know, because every day you see 800, 1,000 people just whacking me. Until one day I decided, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay a friend a visit. So I went to meet Hubert Lee, our Malaysian YouTuber, gold certified Malaysian YouTuber. I met him, I said, this is my situation, what will you do? And he analyzed all the comments, all the hates. He said, Michael, there's a silver lining here. I said, what's that? You see, as much as there are certain Indonesian groups hating you, there are also certain Indonesian groups who are defending you. I'm so shocked, you know, when I read through, oh yeah, there were Indonesians who say, calm down, guys. He just loves batik. He's not saying that this batik is from Indonesia or from where. He just loves batik.
Yeah.
And they kena whack. And Hubert was like, look, another silver lining. Malaysians, they are behind you. Malaysians are fighting the Indonesians for you. And that was when I said, so what should I do? Galvanize the support. And I'm like, whoa, sounds so politician, right? Galvanize the support. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, Michael, how do you feel now? What do you want to do? I said, I want to ignore it. He said, really? Then you wouldn't come and see me, right? There's something stuck in you. Tell me. I said, Hubert, I want to apologize for causing this, if you call it, quote unquote, war among the netizens. I want to apologize, but yeah, I felt I did not do anything wrong. I'm just expressing my love for batik, regardless it's Indonesian batik, Thailand batik, Singapore batik, Brazilian batik, Switzerland batik. I don't care. I just love batik. So Hubert helped me. Hubert said, Michael, let me advise you what to say so you get the right message across. Oh, that night, I slept so well. And I found that those haters who like threatened me, after they watched my video, they apologized.
Okay, yeah.
They did. But of course, now I told Hubert, I just messaged him yesterday. Hey, that post no longer viral. Stop already. Then Hubert was like, hey, come on, that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to put out a video to stop the virality, right? Oh man, I'm missing the attention. But never mind. But you know, I added an extra 2,000 followers on my Instagram, so that's cool. Galvanizing support, right? So a lesson here is for any of you listening to this, when you are in deep shit, just go out, have the courage to ask for help and get professional help, right? I got professional help.
Yeah.
Hubert, gold endorsed, gold-plated YouTuber, 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, 1 million subscribers. Yeah.
Right, 3.8 million subscribers on his TikTok. He know what he's doing, right? I would go to you, Bob, for LinkedIn algorithms.
Yeah.
LinkedIn marketing, right? So just go out and ask for help, right? And well, today I've turned that into a story. So far, I've gotten 2 paid speaking engagements where the clients say, Michael, we want you to come in and talk about Malaysia Batik Guy. And if you have screenshots of your journey, how did you recover from all the hate messages, cyberbullying? We want to hear from you and we'll pay you. Wow. And now I'm talking about this here in this podcast.
Yeah.
It's a
good timing because we talked about this initially and then that happened and you know, it's a good timing to talk about this as well.
Correct. So I think try to look at things positively despite the setbacks we get. If you do not know how to look at things positively, get expert help.
All right, that's thanks for sharing. That's you know, from death threats to all these things. Besides that, you know, and your initial days, what was, are there other low points as well in your career so far?
Of course, there are low points.
Yeah.
My company during the time of COVID, when we got our audited net profit, and I will proudly share this, even though some people have said, Michael, they could trace back this podcast or they could trace back that news article and you will not be so attractive for investors anymore. But I'll say this, right? Our audited net profit of the year 2020 that we only got to know in 2021 was 132 ringgit.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, right?
Mm.
Wow. My investors even made a joke. I have two investors. They're really kind. I love them. They even said, Michael, we know you love Nando's. And I do. You want to win my heart? Belanja me Nando's. But no spicy. Okay. My investors even said, Michael, 132 ringgit net profit cannot even treat three of us, the shareholders, to a Nando's. And I always remember that, right? But we suffered during COVID time. I lost my team members. I was down to only 2 employees left. But it was a rejuvenation because then, again, I learned a lesson. I did not know how to grow my business anymore.
Yeah.
I did not know how to pivot. I went outside. I got external help. I got people to join my company and I shut my ego out. And I said, hey guys, I'm out of ideas. Teach me, right? And that made all the difference. So that was a low point in my business life. I've got low points here and there, right? I must say that I have an incredible wife. She's so patient with me. She knows that I'm married to her. I'm also married to my work. It's because I love what I do so much. So she's amazing, Chloe.
Yeah.
I have 2 beautiful kids, Ariel and Andros, love them. My parents, who they are living with me, I'm grateful that I'm able to take care of them. But the joke is, I think they take care of me more because they make sure that whenever I go back, I have coconut water to drink to cool down my body, because I need a lot of energy, right, to do what I do. So I'm very grateful for them. So in the ups and downs are here and there.
Thanks for sharing that. So today you're a father of 2. You have 2 children now.
Yeah.
So last question. So at the end of the day, one day you might become a technocrat. You might do all these things. But what would you like your children to remember you by?
I would like my children to remember me as a father who did his best to take care of them, to show them love, and to inspire them that with their ability to love and to care, it should not be limited towards loving and caring for the family. If they are blessed with skills, influence, networks, or opportunities to help others, take up those opportunities. Have the compassion to help others. That is what I would want my children to remember me by. Someone who inspired them that not only can I be a loving father at home, but I can also change lives positively outside.
All right. I think we've talked about everything today. But
Yeah,
thank you so much.
everything. A lot of first times, exclusives.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. And of course, check out Michael's book as well.
It's available in all major bookstores. I'm Introvert, Quiet Strategies to Build Powerful Relationships. And if I may, I'd like to present this book for you, Bob. Thank you so much. Thank you for inspiring me.
Coming. Yeah.
With all your LinkedIn posts as well.
Yeah, okay.
Follow him on LinkedIn, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.